It's been a long time. We had a bit of a hiatus with these 20-minute podcasts. Been extremely busy with projects and other stuff, Noco related, but I'm happy that we're back here. And a lot has happened on the Webflow side of things as well. I know you have some exciting stuff to share and some visually enticing stuff to show us. I just want to kick it off with a couple of updates from the Webflow side that caught my eye and that I think are valuable to either us in our workflows or directly to our customers. Before I forget, we are now, by the way, a Webflow Premium Partner Enterprise, which we're very happy about because we have been doing quite some what you could call enterprise-grade projects with a bit more complex infrastructure, bigger teams that work on the website, on the customer side, and have been in communication with Webflow for quite a long time. Guys and girls have been super helpful to us, and I'm happy that we can now display the enterprise badge on our website, a sign of our commitment to Webflow. We were super early adopters, but also it brings obviously some benefits, especially now that we notice that the bigger customers, they just have some more robust requirements when it comes to security and compliance and capacity and stuff like that. And we now have a much more direct collaboration with Webflow to flesh out what the perfect hosting solution would be for them, the perfect package would be for them. And we're already having a couple of cases that we're working on to make sure that our customers get the system they need, I would say. One thing that caught my eye is that Webflow has been very active with the Analyze tool, with Webflow Analyze. I saw 2 new cool updates that we really were looking forward to, which is the scroll maps, where you can basically monitor the drop-off points of the visitors on your website, and the click maps. The heat maps. That was very cool to see because for a long time I was a little bit in the dark with Analyze. Should we deploy it already? Is it ready? Should we wait for more rollouts? What's your take on the whole Analyze roadmap? Is it there yet?
Hi there. I'm glad we're back on this. There has been a lot of updates on the Webflow Analyze. I think it's becoming a very strong tool. Webflow Analyze has been there for almost a year now, but they're updating it quite often, so that's great, adding more features. So I think it's becoming a very important tool in Webflow. The fact that it's built in as well saves a lot of loading times, issues, some library, you call a third-party library and all that. But with Webflow Analyze, you have that built in, so it's much more efficient.
Yeah, nice, man. I'm sharing a screen here. So let's have a look at the scroll maps.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yep. Alrighty. And scroll maps helps you see what's visible, what's missed, and where most visitors drop off. We monitor this as part of our CRO efforts, and we have other tools for it. But this looks good. Ultimately, having a native Webflow tool that does basically everything you need on the CRO front and analytics front would be, of course, super, super helpful and efficient. So this is a good addition. I haven't played with it yet. I think you haven't either, but something to cover for next episode. Yeah, so the key stuff that you want to know: average base fault, visual gradient overlay, scroll rule, dynamic scroll line. Yeah, that looks promising. And then we have the click maps.
Yeah, it's been a very nice tool. I'm checking it out because Webflow released some demo sites for developers. And I'm not sure if this was released for everyone, but they gave like a test account where you can test the Analyze tool. You can test the staging, the branching feature, where you can work on multiple teams and branch. So thank you, Webflow, for providing this demo environment where we can test out these tools. This is something very helpful, especially in development, so we can develop it, show it to clients, and then sell it better.
Yeah, you nailed it. Again, we are super committed to Webflow. We're sometimes also critical. I know you have been with the new rollouts, both praise and some critical remarks. I think that's also good in a relationship. But I must say that I'm very much encouraged by what has been shipped and what's in the pipeline, what you hear through the grapevine. So that's cool. But there's more, of course. I also noticed that this one is cool, right? So basically they switched to a role-based system where you don't have to have a full workspace seat anymore. For example, when you want to have someone have a view-only action on your website, you can just simply add guests, freelancers, for example, external people who want to take a look and have to do some work on the Webflow website. It's my impression, tell me if I'm wrong, this is becoming more team-friendly and more flexible, especially for agencies.
Yeah, I think it's a nice advancement. They made this role system. So now Webflow has roles, so you can choose between, I think there are 6 roles. One of them is the viewer only, where you can just view and comment. For now, this is the free role. The other ones, let's say if you invite someone to that role, then they have to get an account. I am not very much on board with this, but it's the strategy I think Webflow is going for. Actually, it's going to be like, okay, everyone who want to use Webflow has to pay, unless you want to use it like very limited. It's becoming something like Adobe. So when you use the Adobe tools or Microsoft tools, these tools, you just barely use it and they tell you, okay, you have to get the account.
Well, now that you mention Adobe, I saw an example yesterday. I think I saw it on X of a guy who wanted to cancel his Adobe subscription.
Oh my God, that also happened to me. I'm in the same shop.
My God.
I think I saw that as well.
Yeah,
it's happening to everyone. I want to cancel and they're like, okay, you have a cancellation fee of €200. And I've been a member for 4 years now,
yeah,
but they just...
So if I understood it correctly, so for example, let's say you have a subscription and it runs until July 31st, right? That's the last day of your subscription. Yeah. So if you would cancel it today, then what you would expect is, okay, I paid for the full month, so it will just run until the end of the month and then it's just canceled. But what they do now is for the remainder of that month, I guess they charge some sort of early cancellation fee where you pay hundreds of dollars because you cancel early, so you can only cancel on the last day of your subscription. And of course, that would mean that people often forget and they get another month. What is this for insane short-term thinking, man? I was shocked when I saw it. Well, am I describing this right? This is how it goes.
You cannot cancel, basically. In any situation, you cannot cancel. And it's not like you sign up to this. Every other tool, like you said, you just cancel, you have a prorated until the end of the month or the end of the cycle, and then you have that tool. But this one, when I tried to cancel last time, they were like, yeah, you have to pay €400. And I was like, that's a huge amount. And they were like, yeah, we'll give you like 2 months for free. And then you continue. And I was like,
but is this even legal? Like, I'm sure they put it in the terms and conditions, and I'm sure they covered it, but it seems quite desperate. So Webflow, we love you, but don't go that route. Don't go that route. You can't possibly go that bad as Adobe just did or has been doing. No, but all jokes aside, that was extreme. Let's go back to the Webflow update, JR, and this is where I'm handing you the mic because there's one very cool update, which is
update.
Yes, sir. Introducing Webflow Interactions powered by GSAP. I'm going to unshare my screen because I have a feeling that you have something to share and show. So unsharing, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, so we've been waiting for this for a while because Webflow acquired GSAP, I think last year. And they were all like, okay, they're going to change the animation library. Before it was IX2, I think they were using a local animation library, and now it's powered by GSAP. This is really cool. The new interaction powered by GSAP is a very cool update. Now this is going to be saving a lot of time on creating animations, and you can create very much nicer animations, much more detailed. So you can see some examples that were created by some of the developers at Webflow. It's been great. I've been testing it out. I've been playing around with it. So I have an example project here. Maybe we can just have a look at it. So you can see here we have like the version, we have a classic interaction, and then you have the interactions powered by GSAP. And this is the new one. So let's say I want to create something like this interaction, which is created by IX2, but we're going to test it out on IX3. So I'm just going to delete this one, and we're just going to see how this works. It's a bit of a learning curve, I think, like this update or this interaction UI. It's more complex than the previous one. Once you get the hang of it, it's very cool. So I want to make an interaction that is on page load, and we'll make a custom interaction. And you see here you have all the styles or all the properties that you can use. It's of course the GSAP stuff. Before we used to use code to do this. Now it has a very nice UI that you can easily use the classes. Also, this is something very nice that Webflow did. Now you can target by class, by attribute, which is something that is great because we always like to target by attribute. It makes it easier to control the flow of the website. But in this example, we're just going to target class. And here you can look for the class that you want to target, which is also great. You can just write, we're going to target this hero square. And yeah, it's much more convenient than the previous one, because the previous one, you used to have to go to the element, click on it. And here, it's much more convenient. And yeah, you can come set up the time, the duration. You have the nice eases. So I think GSAP differentiates from the other libraries, mainly, of course, the load time and the efficiency of it, but also the eases that they have. So these make them a very nice, smooth entrance or smooth animations. and they got really good at that. So in this case, let's say we're gonna make this style from and to, and we're gonna change the size of it like we saw in the example. So I'm gonna change the width and the height, and you can choose all the properties here, most of the properties that you can animate, which is great. So this gives you a lot of opportunities. You can make very cool animations through this. So in this case, I'm gonna go from 0 view height, view width to, let's say, 25 view width, and then from 0 view height to, let's say, 50 view height. So we'll make a 2-step interaction. So this is basically how it's set up, and then I'll add another action which will be targeting the same class, and we'll go to the width and height of 100 width and 100 height. Let's also give it a power and then maybe some timing. So you see here now we have this some sort of a timeline, which is really cool. So now you can view your animations like this, like you can see the timeline. You can adjust things here. Okay, I want this animation to start a little bit after, a little bit before, which is something very nice. This becomes many layers. You can easily adjust your animation. Okay, I want this element to pop up right after this element or a little bit with it. Yeah, I think this is really cool. A very nice update from GSAP. I do have my critiques,
of course.
but yeah, so I also actually tweeted about this. There is a little bit of lag in the, let's say, in the IX2, in the IX3, which is the GSAP, on the page load animation. So let's say we created this page load interaction. So I'm gonna go to the website to view it. So let's say I view it, I hard refresh. So I'm gonna hard refresh. And you can see, okay, the elements, like this image, it flashes in the beginning. And then if we compare it to, let's say, the IX2 interaction, so here's the IX2 interaction, it has it a little bit better on the beginning. So you see this beginning flash here. It's a very tiny interaction. I have a better as well, like I did an example of it through a text. So I hid the text behind an element to showcase how the page load is a little bit later. So let me just share this. And I think I also, of course, raised it to Webflow. They said they'll be working on it, and I'm sure they're gonna find a very nice solution. So if you see this one, let's say these two pages, I'm gonna just open these two pages. This is a GSAP. Yeah. So this is the IX2, the old interaction. I'm gonna refresh. You can see, yeah. So let's check it out. So here, I think this is getting better actually. Maybe they already fixed it, but you can see it's the load time. So when I load, you can see this element is showing. That means the animation is taking longer to load than the page, which is not very convenient because you can see this lag. But then here, it's very nice because it's just loading smoothly. The elements are not showing before the load. It's like running together with the load time. And I think they already fixed that. But I think a lot of websites face this issue, but yeah, it's becoming better.
Nice, man. Cool stuff. So what is the biggest win that this update provides in theory? What is the biggest takeaway here?
Yeah, I think, again, it's increasing productivity time when creating animations with GSAP. Before, we used to take the code and have to make sure that the code matches with the, let's say, class names, or my code matches with the elements that are in Webflow. Having it internal, having it like this with a UI, raises a lot of errors, increases the productivity of how fast I can get an animation. Of course, helps me make a better animation like you saw with the timeline. This is something that is really cool because you can do this visually. And I think Webflow does this great, where they make the hard job of doing code or these complex code, they make it in a visual way so you can make your own creation, so you can get creative. Yeah. So I think this is a key takeaway, the increase of productivity, and a lot of people on X have been following the vibe, and a lot of people loved it. Everyone's saying like it's helping us create things faster, and thank you Webflow for finally releasing this.
Yes, thank you indeed Webflow, and keep the updates coming, and we'll be following and experimenting and implementing as we go. But yeah, for sure, exciting times, especially with the landscape changing, with other tools and products coming along. Framer, of course, is a notable example, but others as well. it's good to see that Webflow is actively shipping. That's what we need. That's what we want.
Even Figma is, you can make websites with Figma now. So
Yes.
Figma Sites, and they're competing in the market.
Yep.
Also Figma Make, I've been using Figma Make to create UI designs, and it's actually one of the best AI tools I've used so far.
Nice.
So yeah, maybe Figma will surprise us and take over.
Oh man, there's so many stuff going on.
It's fast-moving times.
Yeah, but it is kind of awesome because we were talking before we started recording, like, and this is unrelated to Webflow, but you have Opus Pro, which is this AI video clip maker where it turns your clips into sort of viral worthy clips. And that tool has gotten so much better since the first time I checked it out, like almost a year ago or something. It's so sophisticated now, and it just works so well. And there's a scheduler in there as well. So getting more native tools. Maybe it already had a schedule for some time. I noticed it when I checked it out the other day. And also it gives you the score, the viral score of how likely it is to go viral, or at least how likely it is to gain a proper reach. So that is such an awesome tool. It's so powerful, and you have plenty of those tools, and they keep popping up. And it's never done. You're constantly experimenting with new tools and being in awe of what can happen, what they can do for you. And we've only just barely scratched the surface. It's in a candy store, I would say.
Yeah, it's exciting times indeed. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
And I think more is happening this summer. Very soon, GPT-5 will be released. I think on the 31st of July. Expecting a lot of changes. So all the tools are gonna make some updates. So we're gonna see a lot of things this summer. I'm super excited.
For sure. And Grok 4 has been released, and they're super active as well.
€300 a month, though.
I saw that, but I hope that it will all go gradually down, of course, as new updates come.
So.
Yeah, but for now, look, my workflow is still, I don't know about you, but my workflow, and I have to deal with a lot of content, a lot of CRM, a lot of text-based stuff, marketing stuff, CEO type stuff, just business type stuff. I still use ChatGPT, and there's one reason for it, and that is that ChatGPT has pretty okay cross-thread context now, meaning that if you have a lot of threads under one project folder, they can reference each other, those threads, and through memory, but also in general. And Grok doesn't really have that yet. Grok doesn't have a cross-thread context window, and that is something I really need, or else you have to start each thread with the same input, or you have to just learn the thread how to behave, teach the thread how to behave, except for the project documents that you can upload in a project folder. But that is not enough, right? Because say I have the CRM thread with a thread for every customer, for every prospect. You upload documents, etc. And you also implement and flesh out best practices as you go, like the format of your meeting notes or whatever. And you don't want to have to explain that for every new thread. So that's why for now I'm sticking to ChatGPT, and they did that well because it's really a lock-in thing for me. Yeah.
I think ChatGPT is the best. They're becoming a very good app for a lot of things, even image generations. I've been testing image generations a few days ago, and I've been working with a few tools. They're great, but ChatGPT gave me the most result that I wanted. So it gave me the best stuff that I wanted. So it was surprisingly well.
I think so, and also commercially and in terms of product maturity, because they have been going at it for quite a while now compared to, for example, Grok. So just the sheer product maturity for the kind of work I need to do, I just know what to expect, and it has all these nice little tools and features that I just need. I can use them right now. And so they created some lock-in with me for sure. And it's funny how that works. It's obviously a first mover advantage that they are enjoying right now to some extent. And it's interesting to see who would break that. Google, of course, is also working. And you know what? The other day, for the first time, I used some Google AI stuff in my Gmail inbox because I had to add some subscribers to my newsletter, subscribers that are warm, that are people I know, or customers or whatever. And it was super easy to give me a list of the 10 people that I interacted with the most this past quarter or something. And I did that in Gmail, and it gave it to me exactly the way I wanted it, and it was super easy. So Google has that advantage that there's a product suite that we use, for example, as Noco with the Google Workspace. I'm open to if they roll it out properly and they give us the tools and features we need in terms of their AI, then that's also a nice lock-in for them. And then I'm forced to go with Google again. I don't know. It's such a jungle. Never a dull day.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like Apple and Android, how we have been Apple and Android.
Yeah.
It's going to be Google and ChatGPT. Gemini is doing really great. I've been also using it. Super.
Yeah. And the video generation from Google, the VO3 is insane.
The VO3,
yeah, it's scary stuff.
Wow, like yeah, it's a bit expensive, but yeah, it's worth it. Super realistic. It's like movies. We can make movies now. So
yeah, mind blowing.
Super nice. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up, Yar. Thanks for doing this again with me, and let's keep doing it. We had a good streak. We had a little pause, and now we continue the streak.
Applications, it's okay.
Yeah,
we're back.
It's all right. They understand.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you, Ian. Bye bye.
Bye bye.